Hello, everyone. Welcome to season 2, episode 14 of my LinkedIn Live series. I'm joined today by Eleni Nikolites. She was a guest on my LinkedIn Live last year, so it's good to have her back again. We're talking about the same topic as last year, but a lot has changed over the past year. We'll be talking about advice to my younger self. So it'll be great to share how we both grown over the last year and what advice we would give our younger self. How are you doing today, Eleni?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm doing great, and you're based out of the UK, so thank you for joining me during your evening time here. Again, it's appreciated to have you on as a guest.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So, yeah, before we get started on our topic about advice to our younger selves, it's been a year since I've had you on the live stream. So, what's been new with you since the last year?
So, literally, we had our podcast in April, and I kind of said that I was looking for my first role in tech. And then, beginning of July, I landed that role. So, I work as a first line analyst, so tech support for a really, really busy company doing tech support for all different kinds of businesses and schools and things. So, I did it. I got a job in tech, which was
Yeah,
my main
congrats.
goal for last year. Yeah.
Is the new job been going well?
Yeah, it's been going well. I'm learning lots. I definitely feel like tech is where I was meant to be. It's really nice to feel like all the hard work's paid off. And yeah, I really enjoy it as an industry. So it's going well.
Yeah, and then since our last live stream a year ago, I started a new job as well. So I left Lockheed Martin after 7.5 years and started at Applied Materials in September. So it's been 8 months working in program management, which is where I wanted to go in my career. So learning a lot. I'm in a totally different industry, in the semiconductor industry, so I'm learning a lot as well. So yeah, kudos to both of us for starting a new job in the past year.
Thank you. Thank you. Are you enjoying your new role?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the work culture is great. The team I'm working on is great, and we're actually expanding as well. So when I started, it was just my manager, implementing all these new strategies, and then the day I started, someone else started on the same day. So we were a team of three.
I think you've gone frozen from what you said this might happen. And you told me to just keep speaking. So I'm just going to keep speaking till you come back. I think you froze. I spoke for a bit and then I froze.
Yeah. No. It's my apologies there. So, anything else new with you over the past year?
Not really. Not really. What about with you? Well, there has been with you, hasn't there?
Yeah, quite a few things. So last July got engaged, and then as we were talking about pre-show, we quickly quickly started booking things for our wedding. So we had most of the wedding booked within a month. So our wedding is coming up this September. So we're about 4 months away. And then other big news: we bought a house earlier this year. We fully moved in about a month ago. So the first few months of the year was just stressing out with home buying. We were able to buy a house, and then we had to switch lenders because they screwed us over. So we had to go find a new lender, and then we pushed back the date, and we were finally able to move in the first weekend of April. And yeah, we're fully moved in now. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun, and really enjoying the new house, except for the spotty Wi-Fi. So we got to fix that.
That's okay. As long as you're happy with the house, everything else can be sorted.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's great being a homeowner.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's start going to our topic here about advice to your younger self. We have 4 or 5 things we wanted to talk about, and the first thing you wanted to share about is follow your own path. Do you want to provide a little more context about that?
Yeah, because I think it's like there's a lot of pressure from like all sort of like social media or maybe like family or like school when I was younger, kind of influencing where you should go or like what looks like success. And I think kind of being true to yourself and taking time to think actually, say for example, I never did, but say for example, someone might say, well, my parents want me to be a doctor, my dad was a doctor, my granddad was a doctor, my great granddad was a doctor, and someone might be like, but I don't want to do medicine, I want to do, I don't know, drama or something. So I think it's just being true to yourself and kind of following your heart and what you feel that you can bring you can bring value to, and that looks different for everyone. And I think success looks different for everyone, so it's just being true to yourself and following that path.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to add on to that point that, you got to follow your passion, right? So, other people's passions may be different things. Both of us just got jobs into tech recently, right? So a lot of people say, "Oh, you gotta go work at these tech companies, work at these big companies." You just gotta follow what you want to do. And then, another thing is, a lot of people are going to give you advice: your friends, your coworkers,
Mhm.
your mentors, etc., your parents. But at the end of the day, you just gotta do what you truly want to do, right? You can take their advice, take it with a grain of salt, right? But at the end of the day, you got to decide what you really want to do, what your passion is. If your whole family are doctors, but that's not what you want to do, then you got to find what your passion is. And there's no point going to school, getting that education, paying for the education,
Yeah.
struggling through it for 4 years, and then getting a job, and then you hate that whole entire process. You're not going to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a difficult lesson to learn. Like, it definitely takes time, especially like growing up in Cyprus. It's very academic. So like all of maybe like everyone I went to school with before we even finished like high school were talking about, oh, when I do my masters, when I do my PhD. And I was like, I'm 18. I know I don't even know what I want to do tomorrow, let alone planning my whole academic career. And it's just like, for some people academia is what they want to do. For some people they might want to do fitness. Like, there's not one path for each person. Like, everybody's path looks different, and I think also your path can change. So what makes sense to you like now might not make sense in 10 years, 15. So I think it's just kind of following your intuition and kind of adapting as you go along.
Yeah, and I want to add on a story about my master's. So when I graduated, when I was pretty close to graduating with my undergrad in computer engineering, about like 6 months or a year away, we had a 5-year program, so you can get your bachelor's and master's in computer engineering at the same time. I said, I know I don't want to do computer engineering anymore. I just want to graduate, and then let me go work a few years, and figure out what I want to do for my master's. And that's exactly what I did. So I graduated, got my job at Lockheed, and I was inspired by a coworker who was a project manager and eventually became a mentor of mine. So that's why I decided to go do my master's in engineering management. It was the best of both worlds. I get to develop my technical knowledge, but also get the management side as well. So again, you'll figure out what you want to do in your career as you go along. You might have all these different milestones by 30. By age 30, I want to be this. By age 35, I want the certain title. But there's different ways to get there, right? Don't follow the single path, and if you deviate from it a little bit, it's okay, right? You might
Yeah,
end up going somewhere else that you never imagined, and it might end up even better.
yeah, exactly that. Sometimes, like, I find that when I don't have like a complete mapped out journey like to the second, it actually works out better. So like years ago I wanted to be a teacher, and I was doing all these different courses to get me there, and then I started a teaching course and realized it wasn't for me. And then with tech, it was like, I want to be able to work remotely, I want to be able to have that kind of flexible lifestyle, like work from home or hybrid. And that was my main thing going into it. But you figure out everything as you go along, and that is scary, but it's also exciting because you don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's actually a great transition to our next topic here. You said you're looking to become a teacher, you're going through all the certification, but it's okay to quit. You want to provide a little context to that?
Yeah, so for example, I think the example I used for that one was university wasn't really for me. Like, I did it because I kind of felt like, oh well, I've started it, I might as well do it. And there was that pressure of, oh, I can't quit, what am I going to do afterwards? And I think after I got my degree in 2010, afterwards, if I ever felt like I wanted to change my path, I always did, because I never felt like I kind of got to tick that box of it's okay to quit back then. So now it's like, yeah, if something's not for me, like I did a lot of agency work, so I got to do lots of different things for years. And it's like, if something's not for me, I'll just find something else. Like, I will find my passion, because I'll just keep going till I do. And I think that like with teaching, it was something that I wanted to do for years, but then when I was so close, it was like, oh, okay, this isn't for me, I'm going to quit. And I think it's quite liberating to think, oh, actually I can quit, like it's okay, like the world's going to keep spinning, like it's not the end of the world. And I think that's another thing that's definitely, it takes a while to learn that, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree there, and I think the advice I want to share to the younger audience, right, to college students, to those that are early on in your career, yeah, it's okay to quit. It's okay to change path because you're so early on in your career, right? You're only 20 something, right? You
Yeah,
have decades of working life ahead of you that you can try a few things, right? So you tried being a teacher, you're like, no, that's not for me, right? You went to
yeah,
college for a certain degree, and you're like, oh, that's not for me. So again, figure out what you want to do, right? Go pursue it, and it's like, okay, it's not for me. It's okay to pivot. It's okay to do different things rather than suffering through it for the next 2 years, finishing your degree, and then you're in a job that you're forced to take because you have the certain degree, and you're just going to be very miserable. So follow what your passion is. It's okay to change paths. It's okay to quit there.
yeah, for sure. Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Another thing I think a lot of people worry about when they're early on in their careers is just scared to do things or scared to take chances, take risks. And again, if you're young, if you're early in your career, it's okay to take risks. So, Lenny, one of your advice that you wanted to share is be afraid and just do it.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, this was one that you inspired me with because I think I commented on one of your posts a while ago and you sent me a message to say, oh, you commented, thank you, how are you? And all of this. We were catching up. And I was like, I really want to create content on LinkedIn, but I'm afraid. And you were like, why are you afraid? And the why made me stop and think, yeah, why am I afraid? And I think it's because I thought, oh, I don't know what to say, or it's not going to be perfect, or I won't get a lot of engagement, or what if I don't inspire someone? And I think if you think of the what ifs too much, you don't do it. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll just create something. Maybe someone will like it, maybe they won't. But I think also you then get better with time, like with anything. But it was a big one for me. I was like, oh, I really want to, because I know that not a lot of people do on LinkedIn. Like I think the percentage is really small, I think, of people that create content and everything. So I was like, yeah, you're right. Why don't I want to do it?
Yeah, I shared a post recently, and I always share this in every single presentation I do about LinkedIn is what is the worst thing that can happen? Right? What's the
Mm,
worst thing that can happen when you post? No one looks
yeah,
at it. No one reacts to it, which is the
exactly.
same exact result if you don't do a single thing, right? But the best thing that can come out of it is you make some new connections, you get some conversations going, you connect with new people. So again, it's just, yeah, I agree with you. We get stuck so much about the what ifs. We overthink things, and
Yeah,
they say analysis paralysis, right? You just overthink things. You just don't get things done. So just do it. I mean, when I started my 52-week video challenge in 2018, that first video I had it ready to go to upload. I didn't do any editing. It was just recorded straight from my phone, and I just couldn't do it. I sat there for like 10, 15 minutes,
oh,
and I was already queued and everything. I just had to hit upload, and I basically said, you know what, F it, I'm just going to upload it. And I was going to delete it like 10 minutes right after I uploaded it too. But I'm glad I did it, right? And as you said, you get better, you learn as you go. And that 52-week challenge journey, when I started with that first video, brought me to where I am today, right? Season 2 of my LinkedIn live series. So if I decided to quit, if I decided to never even upload a video, right, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing today.
yeah, exactly. It's like I'm sure there's like a thing like I forget the kind of thing like you have to like I think like you have to be your biggest advocate as well. Like if we're sabotaging ourselves or being like, oh, we can't do it, then like we have to believe that we can, if that makes sense. But I think, like you said, like you have to take that chance. If I hadn't done a coding course with She Codes, I wouldn't be working in tech now. Like it wasn't that I wasn't afraid. I was very afraid, but you have to kind of follow the fear, but don't be paralyzed by it in a way.
Exactly, right. And I like to say a lot, believe in yourself, so others will believe in you, right? So
Yeah,
if
exactly.
if you say, oh, I can't even do this, no one's going to think you can do it, right? Like they can motivate you to a certain way, but if you truly deep down believe you can't do things, then no one's going to believe in you. So like you said, we have to be our biggest advocate, right? We have to build ourselves up. It comes a lot with self-confidence. So don't
Yeah, it
don't
does.
overthink things and just do it, right? Again, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah, very true.
And another thing, we talked about this last year as well.
Right.
Surrounding yourself with the right people, right? So you want to.
Mm.
What's the analogy you like to use here when you talk about that?
I think it's they say, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the exact quote, that you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So I always think that it's good to have a little bit of a look every now and then, like once a year, I don't know, 6 months, depending. of the people that are around you, like your immediate circle, like, are these people inspiring me? Are they motivating me? Am I learning from them? Are they learning from me? Do I feel like good energy when I'm around them? Do I feel negative after I've been in their company? Do I feel energized? Do I not feel energized? And again, I feel like this can change, because friendships that might have served a purpose a year ago, 2 years ago, you might just fall, just like paths grow apart, people grow apart. And I do think it's really important to do that, just to keep kind of evaluating the people that you're around, and how they're impacting on your how you're feeling and that kind of thing. I think it's important.
Yeah, I've heard that same analogy before, and I think that the actual term is you're the average, right, of the five people,
Yeah,
right? So,
average. Yeah.
you want to surround yourself with people that motivate you, right, that help you grow and inspire you. You don't want to be around people that are negative, who are sad or depressed all the time, who try to bring others down with them, because they have no one else, right? They have to bring others down. So, it's not just surrounding yourself with the right people, but surrounding yourself with the right energy. You talk about being at a
Yeah,
company as well.
exactly.
And we talked very early on that I got engaged, right? So if I did not see a good future with my current fiance, then I wouldn't have proposed, right? So she motivates me, she inspires me, we help each other grow. So it's the people you want to be with are people you want to grow and support, who will grow with you, who will support you, and together everyone's going to grow together.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Yeah, and then there's, as we talk about advice to our younger self. Is there anything else you want to add that we haven't covered yet?
Let me think. I think nothing comes to mind right now, but if you start saying things, other ideas will come to me probably.
Yeah, I just want to just summarize real quick, right? We talked about following your own path, right? You can be inspired by other people. Everyone might be doing the same type of job, but you got to look deep down on what you really want to do, right? So, there are different paths you can take to get where you want to be. It's okay to quit. That was the second point we talked about, right? You were looking to become a teacher, but you got to follow your passion. You can't just do things because you invested enough time or money. It's okay to quit. It's okay to pivot as well. Fine. And then, we just talked about, be afraid, just do it, right? What's the worst thing that can happen, right? You have to be able to take risks, take on challenges in order to grow in your career. And then finally, surround yourself with the right people, right? Because they help you grow. They will support you. Don't be with people that are negative, that bring you down. You want to be with people that support you and bring you up. Anything else you want to add?
I think that's it. But compared to last year, I don't know if you've got the points from last year's points, if any of them were different. I can't remember.
Last year, I think something we haven't quite talked about yet right now is strive for progress, not perfection, right? So I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so that one was because I was doing a lot of like coding last year, and the year before, and coding is really hard for anyone that's coded. It's not easy. A lot of the time it doesn't work. You're frustrated. There's very, very high highs, very low lows. Like in the highs, you're like, oh, I can build anything. And then in the lows, you're like, why did I decide to do this? So I think that was a phrase that really meant a lot to me last year, because it was like I was doing a lot of projects and coding, and it was like, it's not good, it's not perfect. So it was like I kept saying that to myself, like, strive for progress, not for perfection, because otherwise, like, you just stop yourself from progressing, because you're like, it's not perfect, I can't do it. Like you said with the video, like, I remember I'd agonize about submitting projects, because if they weren't good enough, I'd be like, but it's not good enough. And then you have to take a step back and say, okay, well, is this going to give me my certificate? Does it work? Is it functional? If it is, that's fine, submit it. But it's like, you can definitely get kind of like coding paralysis. I don't know if that's a phrase, but like where you're like, I can't do it anymore, or you can't see like the wood from the trees. And usually it's like a comma or a dot, or like, that kind of thing. So that was a phrase that I still believe this, but last year that was like the phrase that really meant a lot to me.
Yeah, my education was in computer engineering, so I know exactly how you felt, right, with the coding. You're like, why doesn't this work? And you realize you like have an extra space or something. It's just something stupid at the end. But yeah, I agree with you, right? No one's an overnight success, right? Everyone that you see on LinkedIn talking about their achievements or you just hear anyone about their achievements, what they've been working for, it's progress, right? One day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month, 1 year at a time. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't start with those weekly videos, right? And start building up my confidence, building up my presentation and speaking skills. So, don't worry about being perfect, right? You can see other people who are posting on LinkedIn, who are doing, things similar where you want to be. But as you said in the very beginning, follow your own path, right? Follow your own path, get some advice, get some mentorship. But again, it's your own path. You decide where you want to go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, as we wrap up here, I want to put Eleni's LinkedIn profile. Make sure you connect with her here. Eleni, give you the last couple minutes here for you to make a plug. How do you help others? Where do you need help, or what do you need help with?
So I don't think it's so much help, but definitely helping other people. I'm really passionate about that. Anyone that's interested in coding, pivoting, that's interested in tech in general, that isn't too sure what their path wants to look like, but feels inspired, please reach out. I've got a lot of time for anyone, even if it's not tech, and even if I don't know someone, the likelihood is I'll know someone that might know someone, and so many people helped me when I started out in sort of IT and coding in tech. So I'm super passionate about giving back and helping people. So even if it's like someone wants me to look at their resume, their projects, or help them with an interview or video chat or anything, I'm really open to, growing my network. And yeah, please feel free to reach out.
Yeah, I really, really admired that, right? You said, you had people who helped you in the past, right? As mentors who helped you get to, where you are in your career. Now you're passing it on, right? You're helping the next people as well. And that's the same thing for me, right? I started creating video content because I wanted to help others. I've gotten advice from so many different people that I just wanted to share with other people, because it's not life isn't a competition, right? It's collaboration. So work to help others get to where they want to be, right? And no matter which direction, where they are in their career, go help others, right? We all have experiences. We all have knowledge that we can share with others.
Exactly. I feel like it's like where I am now, or where I was, should I say, where I was like maybe a year ago, someone else might be there thinking, oh no, I've started doing coding and it's not for me, or I'm not sure if it is for me, or I'm struggling. Like, please feel free to reach out. Oh, is there a dog?
Yeah, German Shepherd's here. I don't know what she's barking about. Well, that's the beauty of live.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So thank you so much, Eleni, for your time here.
Thank you for your
time. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you again for returning as a guest on my LinkedIn live show, and maybe we'll do this again next year and see how much we've grown.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Thank you, everyone.